Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Bradley Chiropractic Nutrition Center. This is my 8th podcast. So you may be listening to me through a podcast application or medium, or you may be watching this on a YouTube video. I don't know if you're getting just the audio or just the visual or both. So welcome and thanks for listening and or watching, whatever the case may be. Today I want to talk to you about what's called the Triad of Health, and holistic practitioners, whether they're chiropractors, naturopaths, acupuncturists, or even a holistically minded medical doctor. Any holistic practitioner has a way of looking at health that is different than the traditional medical way that we do in this country, and the way that we have been kind of brainwashed into believing or thinking about. And one of the ways that I like to describe an approach to achieving optimal health is by using what we call the Triad of Health, which is simply just a triangle. So if you think of a triangle, it has 3 sides, and those 3 sides of the triangle in the Triad of Health are structural, emotional, and chemical. Okay, all 3 of those areas of a person's life have to be working properly. They have to be strong in that area and balanced in that area and have energy flowing in that area of their life. So what are those areas? Okay, and we'll get into more of where you're at and what you're doing for those parts of your health. But structural, okay, is basically how we hold ourselves, how our body moves, what our posture is like. Do we have any imbalances that are creating joint pain of any kind? That could be low back pain, knee pain, hip pain, elbow, neck, headaches. It goes on and on. Sciatica, whatever the case may be. That has to do with your structural health. And when we evaluate somebody structurally as a chiropractor, we're trying to find out where the imbalance is at. What is the underlying cause of the pain that patient is experiencing? Maybe they don't even have pain. Maybe they just have poor posture that needs to be addressed and fixed before pain even becomes present, which would be a better approach. It's not how most people approach it, but that would be a better way to do it. So that's structural. And the way we address, or the way I address structural health as a chiropractor, is through a combination of adjustments, looking at the body structurally, finding out where it's not moving, where it's being held out of alignment, what joints are being restricted or what joints aren't moving properly, and getting that movement and that motion back into the structure, into the bony structure, into the joint structure between the bones. Also, I look at what's happening with the patient muscularly. Where are they out of balance? What muscles are tight? What muscles are weak? What muscles need to be strengthened? What muscles need to be stretched? What muscles maybe need a little more than just a stretch? What muscles need deep massage, or what I call, another technique I have is active release technique. That's all part of structure, getting that balance, looking at the muscular system, the skeletal system, and coming up with a plan to correct those imbalances through proper exercise and chiropractic adjustments and massage therapy, or whatever may be indicated for that individual, decompression therapy, other physiotherapies that I do. That all falls under structure. Then we have the chemical side of the triangle. And the chemical side is, what are you putting into the system? What are you eating? What's your diet like? What kind of prescription drugs are you on, which all have a side effect? Should you be on the prescription drugs you're on? Is there an alternative? Is there a natural choice that you can make that would get you to a higher state of health without being on the prescription drugs. And then what toxicities are you exposed to? What's your environment like? What do you do for a living? What's the environment of your house like? Are you eating organic fruits and vegetables? Or are you exposing yourself to pesticides and herbicides and fungicides and chemicals? What are you using to clean your house with? What do you do your laundry with? What do you put on your body? What soaps and shampoos and makeups and lotions do you use? These are all things that have the potential to be very toxic to us. What's your water like? What are you drinking? What are you bathing in? All these things matter. And that is all part of your chemical health. And I help people get that part of their health in balance as well. How do we do that? Well, we do it through nutritional consulting. We use laboratory testing, blood analysis, hair analysis. In some instances, we'll look at the saliva, urine, stools. All these things are laboratory tests that we use to get an idea of what's going on with somebody. Where are they out of balance? How can we get them on the right nutritional supplements and the right dietary program for them that's going to help improve their chemical makeup, help bring that stuff into balance. And then the third side of the triangle is the emotional health, or the emotional side of it. And we can look at that many different ways. It can be emotional, psychological, spiritual, whatever somebody's belief system is. And I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I can still give you some pretty good recommendations on how to keep the emotional side of your health balanced and in check. And these are things that we all work on. These are things that I work on. And to elaborate a little bit more on that, I'm a human being. I'm constantly working on my structural health, my chemical health, and my emotional health. All three of those things always need to be worked on. They always need to be reevaluated, reassessed. We have to take a good look at ourselves, including me, and just make sure I'm on track, make sure I'm doing these things. So emotionally, to elaborate on that, what is it that is on our minds? What do we think about? What do we put into this mind? What do we believe? What negative loops or negative feedbacks do we continually tell ourselves? If we take a good look at where we are emotionally and mentally, we need to find out what it is that is holding us back. I could use myself as an example, but I could use, any of us can say these things to ourselves. If we aren't, well, let's just start with health. If our health isn't exactly where we want it to be, and we know we're not exercising, and we know we're not eating right, well, what's happening emotionally that's keeping us from doing those things? I just had a good talk with one of my employees this morning who wants to get healthier, wants to lose weight, wants to do all these things, and asked me, how can I help her do that? And I had to say, because I've tried to help her in the past, I said, first thing first is you need to decide and make that decision that it's something you're going to do, and nothing's going to make you deviate from that decision and that plan that's going to be put in play once you make that decision. So, and that's just headspace. That's the emotional side of things. No matter what type of change we want to make in our lives, whether it's health or whether it's relationship or career or whatever the case may be, there's always going to be an emotional, mental aspect of that holds us back. If we're not getting what we want, if we're not getting where we want in life, oftentimes that's the thing. So we all need to take an assessment of where we are emotionally. What do we believe? What do we tell ourselves? What are the negative thoughts that hold us back? And if we can answer those questions and really continually work on those things, then that's how we take control of the emotional side of the Triad of Health. That's how we take control of getting our emotional aspect of our health stronger and healthier. And then once again, we continue to work on that through positive things that we expose ourselves to. The people we're surrounded with, the books we read, the movies we watch, the TV shows we watch, the things we tell ourselves. So I might have elaborated a little bit more on that, and that's just because it's one of those things that I tend to not elaborate on as much as I should. And that's a big part of being healthy. We have to believe and think the right things to be truly healthy. So no matter what side of this Triad of Health we look at, maybe as you're listening to this video right now, maybe you yourself or listening to this podcast, maybe you yourself are faced right now with a health crisis, and you need to make a decision as to what you're going to do about it. Are you going to go the traditional medical route? Or do you see that the end game in that is not really where you want to be? You really want to take control of your health and get truly naturally healthy in this manner that I'm describing. Well, the first step is really evaluating where you are. A lot of this we can do on our own, but a lot of times we need help. We need to reach out to people who are able to aid us in looking at health in this way. But the first step is at least acknowledging that there's a problem. Let's just say it's a health crisis. Maybe we'll use, let's just use diabetes as an example. So the first step is realizing, okay, I have an issue. I have developed type 2 diabetes. Why have I developed that? And if we're really honest with ourselves, obviously a big part of that is your diet. What are you eating? Okay. What are you doing for exercise? Are you exercising? Obviously, when you talk about diabetes, these are two huge things, diet and exercise. Type 2 diabetes is an epidemic, and it's an epidemic that can be vastly improved upon if people just started doing those two things correctly and consistently. So we have to take a good hard look at ourselves and ask ourselves, where am I with regards to my structural health, my chemical health, my emotional health? Okay? Just to give the emotional side of things, maybe you are the kind of person who takes a good hard look at yourself and says you have diabetes, but your belief system is that, well, that's just something you're born with. I have a genetic predisposition to it, and yeah, I could diet and exercise, but really I know I need to be on medication, and that's what I've been told, and I really don't think I could get this under control all with just diet and nutrition. Well, if that's what you think, then that's your truth. And you are going to just go ahead and take whatever medicine you've been put on, keep your blood sugar under control, and keep living your life. But you're probably going to keep living your life carrying too much weight and not exercising, having aches and pains, and not having the level of energy that you want. There's going to be a price to pay for believing that way, okay? So if I wanted to give that kind of a person or a patient kind of a roadmap and talk about the Triad of Health, I would say we need to work on what you're thinking. First of all, you need to understand that there is another way to look at this. There's another alternative to getting your health back, but you have to first believe it and understand it and educate yourself and start thinking that way. That's correcting that emotional imbalance or that mental imbalance. And once they make that mental change, then they're more open, Okay. Then once a person makes that emotional, mental change to just allow themselves to look at something a little bit differently, maybe allow themselves to realize that the way they have been viewing their particular problem isn't the only way to look at it. Maybe there are other ways to look at it. And once they make that shift, they open the doors to exposing themselves to the information that's out there. And when they do that, then they are on board with changing their diet, changing their exercise, and really learning all these things. So there is always an alternative to traditional care or medical care. Sometimes there are rare occasions where people have a disease that is just a really rare genetic disorder, and they do need to be on a certain medicine. They do need to be under medical control to manage it. But that's a very small percentage of people that we're talking about. Most degenerative diseases have an alternative solution. And so you have to ask yourself, what system do I want to be part of? Which one makes more sense to me? If you want to be part of what we call disease management, and that's really what mainstream medicine is, it's just managing your disease, finding out what disease you have through blood work, and then putting you on the medications to manage that from the time you get on it till you die. Okay? That's not a model that I really believe in. It's not a model I want to be a part of. What I'm trying to educate people about is getting your health to a level that is so balanced and so strong that you have a different level of energy. You just feel better than you ever felt. Your body is strong. You can do what you want to do physically. You can set your mind on goals and accomplish what you want to get accomplished. Your diet's right on. Your exercise is right on. Your body is now able to resist disease. You want to talk about prevention, or the other thing that is kind of a catchphrase is anti-aging. If you really want to live that lifestyle and do it in a natural way, then this approach is really what you want to latch onto. And you want to find people in your community that can help you live that and help you and give you the tools necessary to get there. Help you evaluate where you are. Where are you structurally, emotionally, chemically? Let's find out where you are, and let's come out with a game plan to get you to where you want to be. Okay? There's people like me out there. There's a lot of us out there. This is a movement that is growing, but we still need to scream it. People need to hear this stuff. For a change to occur, more and more people need to start saying what I'm saying. And like I said, there's a lot of people already doing it. I just want to be another part of that movement. So if you are, like I said, if you want to get healthier and you're maybe facing a health challenge, or you just want to live a life that is more vibrant, that allows you to really meet and maximize your potential as a human being on this earth. And that's really, in my opinion, that's really why we're all here. We're all here to really figure out what it is we should be doing and living our dreams and contributing and experiencing and loving and living. And you're just better able to do that when you have your health in check. And that kind of takes me to a different idea or line of thinking. Most of us, especially in the United States, are pursuing financial goals and pursuing financial success, and that's important. Don't get me wrong. I aspire to those things as well. But without your health, none of that stuff matters. You could be worth $100 million before you're 50. But if you die in misery at 55 because you never took care of your health, that money is irrelevant. And that's why keeping your life balanced is really the best approach. So we all are here to figure that out. We're all here to figure out how to keep that balance in our lives. How can I be, physically healthy, have my relationships emotionally healthy and strong, have my finances under control? All that works better when you look at health this way. So I hope that this podcast and this presentation made sense to you. I hope I laid it out in a manner that's understandable. I hope that it speaks to you. And if you are a person that is seeking help, whether or not you're dealing with a disease crisis or whether or not you're just trying to take your health to the next level, I'm here. I'm here to help you. This is what I've committed my life to doing. Now, obviously, I'm speaking to you from Bakersfield, California. So it goes without saying, if you're in my area, you can obviously come to my office and see me. But if you're out of the area and you're listening to this podcast in another part of the world or another part of the country, we have some options. There's a lot of things I can do with people over the phone. A lot of the laboratory testing that I do and nutritional work, that can all be done with phone consults and emails and mail and all these things. So I can help some people to a certain level, depending on where you're at. But maybe you need somebody to do a complete musculoskeletal evaluation on you, and in addition also do the nutritional workup. Maybe you just need somebody that actually needs to be there hands-on for you. And if you're out of the area and you're looking for somebody like that, drop me a message and I'll see if I can get you in contact with a practitioner in your area that is able to handle those types of things. So I just wanted to extend that out there as well. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of people who do what I do, maybe in a unique manner. We're all unique, we all have a different approach, but at least is very similar and has a holistic plan and approach in play that they can offer you. And I can help you find those people if you're outside of my area. So I want you to remember, health it's a choice, and it's all within our own power to make those choices and make those choices wisely, and seek the help of people who can really line up with the way you think and what you want, and they're out there. Look for them. So health is a choice. Make the right choice for yourself today. And I want to thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, or if you found this podcast informative, please like it, comment, subscribe, share, whatever the case may be, and help me spread this word so that we can help more people live to their fullest potential and not live in misery and disease and poor health. That's really, really what I want to try and get across to anybody listening. So thanks again. Until next time, I'm Dr. Bradley with Bradley Chiropractic Nutrition Center, and we'll see you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.